Alright guys, I wanted to do something a bit different today and take a little look into an incident that happened over the weekend. In the Wolves versus Man City game, there was a very controversial late goal scored by Man City that has definitely rattled a few cages, and I want to have a little look into why that is and what the actual law on this is. Now, before you start, I'm not any Manchester City fan at all. But I just find this incident interesting. I think a lot of the narrative around referees is good to get into. I think it's nice to actually look at it and actually be a fair judge of it, because I think sometimes referees do get the short end of the stick. So, looking at the incident, it was this here. We had a corner being whipped in by Man City, and bearing in mind you cannot be offside from a corner. The point you're seeing here, Bernardo Silva is engaging the Wolves goalkeeper, and it's now going to land on John Stones' head. At the moment it does that, Bernardo Silva is offside, but he moves away from the goalkeeper and the ball flies in, and you can sort of tell that he's not actually close to him at the point that John Stones heads it. Now, the reaction to this was kind of crazy. I've got a few comments here that I picked up from a YouTube video about this game, showing the highlights, and yeah, you can judge for yourself how people are feeling about that one. Now, I think this is a tricky one here, because we all know you can't be offside from a corner. The ball's sort of taken from the dead ball line, unless they take it from the other side of the sort of corner bit there, and you are actually stood on the line. You could potentially be offside, but mostly it's almost impossible to be there. So the real question is, okay, well, has Bernardo Silva fouled Jose Sa or not? Now, in terms of rules on a foul, you'll see on the screen here that there are some very specific rules on what constitutes a foul, and that can be whether you're impacting someone or whether you're stopping them from getting to the ball. The question is, because he's not offside, I think that's pretty apparent, is that enough of a foul to end up disallowing the goal? It's a tricky one, because Bernardo Silva is a very small man, and Jose Sa, like most goalkeepers, is a lot bigger. Now, I'm of the opinion that this cannot be a foul. The reason is that if you're going to make that a foul, then we might as well just pack in all the set pieces, because that happens all the time. You don't have to move, you can stand your ground, and it's why you see often teams have like a marshal who stands around the goalkeeper, keeps people away from them as much as possible. For this exact reason, so that the goalkeeper can move. I think the goalkeeper needs to be much stronger, and I think that is a truth there, that the goalkeeper really has to just give him one shove, get out there and come out and punch the ball away. The goal going in obviously made a lot of people unhappy. Go back to the comments that we were seeing before, and a lot of people are yelling about corruption, obviously the famous 115 charges for Man City, and so on and so forth. And I will say this, I think Man City get some calls that they shouldn't get. I think Pep Guardiola being such a big figurehead, I think the way that City make journalists uncomfortable, I think the way that they make officials uncomfortable in the Premier League as well. You can see that from the case and how difficult they're being. Some of the even public statements after City won some of their arguments against associated party transactions recently. City are a nasty, nasty club when it comes to really getting what they want. But that does not make this here a foul, and it should be a goal. Now, in a wider sort of thing, I think referees are kind of hard done by in this situation, because I understand he has impacted his ability to play the ball, but he wasn't offside at the point that he did it. But the impact of what he did carried over to a point when he was standing offside. He just didn't impact the header that was coming in. I think what people have to realise is that the football has laws, right? It's got actual laws written out. And in order to have a law, you have to actually write up and actually justify everything and give a written description that then referees have to try and apply and contextualise. And it is nigh on impossible, I think, to write a law that will encompass he was in an offside position before someone played the ball, committing something that once the ball was played, then affected the play. There's just no way you can write that. It's all jargon. It makes no sense. And the truth is, it's one of those that I think people have to live with. My issue is, are we going to see those decisions given for other teams as well? I think we see it more often where Wolves had one last season, United had one last season when Johnny Evans scored a goal. And those were all chalked off. Just because, I don't know, maybe Bernardo Silva ducked down and sort of dove out the way, kind of sold it a little bit and he got away with it. But there's definitely a bit of contention there. I think that's the right call, but we need to see that more consistently across all teams. And I think that's something that needs to be reminded. Hopefully after this, Wolves and other teams are going to start getting a few calls their way and not just Man City, as we keep on seeing. But that's a little bit of a review on that, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.